It is my greatest honor to welcome you all to witness the swearing-in ceremony of members-elect of the Second House of Representatives.
Must take my hat off to the people and leaders of Bougainville. They have been isolated for many years. They have suffered in terms of development. They have lost lives, and yet they've continued. So this day is a very special day for them, and as Papua New Guineans, we must give them that credit. We must recognize the price to them. But having done that, let us now help them to bring them up to the same level we are, our provinces are in. Because you must remember that for 10 or 15 years, nothing has happened in terms of development in this province. They have a long way to go. I also want to make this point, that Bougainville should be seen by us as a special case, one-off case, because this is based on a conflict, the very bad and very sad situation that has brought us to this level. So we must recognize that, we must appreciate that, and understand the background so that we can see all this development in that right context.
Today, discerning the signs of the times, we find ourselves in the midst of our people in search of a new identity, an identity that encompasses desirable traditional values and worthy modern practices which have relevance to the felt needs and aspirations of emerging Bougainville society. Reading the signs of the times by subjecting the problems and their symptoms to structural analysis, we believe we have identified the root causes of the hardships and influences which are impeding the proper development of our people and our country. At this time, our people are going through some of the most difficult times in our history. Whilst some of the problems are due to natural causes, most are man-made and only have ourselves to blame. Despite the circumstances which may not seem to be conducive to a healthy socio-economic and political development, we as a people of faith must rise above the seeming sense of hopelessness and instill hope and confidence in our people. Our vision of our future must be given flesh by the way we think and live. In other words, we live our potentiality as if it is real and actual. And this realization and appreciation of our potential to actualize our dream gives meaning to our human endeavor. The Bougainville Peace Agreement is the embodiment of the kind of vision, of the kind of society we want to create for ourselves. We stand at the threshold of a new political regime, the basis of the new socio-economic order. This agreement is not just another agreement, rather it is a new covenant washed in the blood of so many of our people of both sides of the conflict, about 15 to 20,000 who died during the crisis. Rather, it is a contract that offers a new promise, a new hope to our people who have been structurally and attitudinally marginalized and disempowered. We have been victimized by existing power structures that sacrifice human dignity and human participation in the interest of economic rationalism, that is, interests and benefits of the few, and for the highly centralized and bureaucratized government. The new Bougainville Peace Agreement offers a new paradigm shift that structurally and institutionally liberates and empowers our people from the syndrome of dependency and powerlessness. Today we celebrate the dawn of a new era, an era that offers new opportunities, new challenges, a new potential that must be actualized for the common good. This new contract has been painstakingly negotiated and agreed between the people of Bougainville and the government of Papua New Guinea, and it is a commitment to enable the people of Bougainville to manage their own affairs and determine their own destiny and make their own mark in human history. Today we embark on a new revolution, a revolution with a difference, a revolution of peace, justice, human rights, and integral human development. In this revolution, we are called upon to stand up and make a difference in the world, to reject violence, greed, and ignorance, and to espouse peace and human dignity and democracy. The new political regime rejects the concept of unity in uniformity. It promotes unity in diversity in accordance with the principle of subsidiarity, which stipulates that the central government must not usurp the role and responsibilities of the autonomous government and provincial governments. It makes the people of Bougainville active stakeholders with the national government as a partner in the all-important national enterprise of nation building and sovereignty. The parties that negotiated the peace agreement, a typically Melanesian strategy of reaching decisions through means of consultation and consensus. In this way, new positions, different from the original positions of the adversaries, were developed through fermentation of concepts and ideas. Hence, the co-creation we have in the comprehensive political agreement on referendum, arms disposal, and autonomy. As we celebrate the formal signing of the New Deal, we ought to thank different peoples and organizations for their contributions. On behalf of the people of Bougainville, I, as the governor, wish to formally thank the government of Papua New Guinea, Morauta Ogyo government, and the members of parliament and the opposition led by Mr. Bill Skate for their resilience and support in our endeavor to create a new deal for our people. I wish also to thank the country and the governments of Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, and last but not the least, to thank the United Nations as represented here today by Ambassador Noel Sinclair. I also wish to take this opportunity to thank the churches for their support, both spiritual and moral support, to thank the chiefs, women, ex-combatants, and the people of Bougainville and Papua New Guinea for their tremendous support towards the successful achievement of this historic document.
The challenge for all of us who have taken part in this joint creation will be to cooperate in its implementation. This is the only way for our shared vision to produce real results on the ground in Bougainville.
The Prime Minister highlighted that his government is firmly committed to giving priority to reconstruction and development in Bougainville, at the same time being mindful of the interest of other citizens.
I therefore appeal to the leaders and the people of Bougainville to maintain the appreciation of the big picture which has allowed us to achieve the Bougainville Peace Agreement, and which must now guide our efforts to realize its potential by implementation. Part of that big picture is a very firmly held view, both in the National Parliament and by the people around the country, that effective implementation of the agreed autonomy arrangements, proper restoration of civil authority, and the credibility of the elections to follow will require genuine commitment to weapons disposal. The ex-combatants who took the initiative in developing the basis for the agreed plan now have a unique responsibility and opportunity to help build the mutual confidence required for progress on other fronts by making sure that the agreed weapons disposal plan is implemented as agreed. The Bougainville Peace Agreement was not made in isolation. It was put together by leaders who, like the officials assisting them, live in the real world. Autonomy, too, like other political arrangements in democratic societies, is not simply an end in itself. It is intended to promote common purposes and achieve practical results. It is therefore vital that all of us now turn our attention from political talks to more practical issues of implementation. We must make sure that government at every level does its best to provide the services and infrastructure which improve the lives of the people whom leaders are elected to serve. In the final resort, the success of the autonomous Bougainville government will depend not on political and legal considerations, but on the difference it makes on the ground. The provisions regarding elections, constitutional offices, and other procedures regulating the conduct of public affairs are intended to ensure that the entire set of arrangements for autonomy, both in Bougainville and at the national level, are accountable to the people whom they should serve. The challenge for all of us is to see that these arrangements become a means for improving people's lives.